Hey, this is Brian Dunleavy here at Pure Drive Golf. We're bringing back the Pure Drive podcast. I've got Adam here on my right, and I got Brian here on my left. Basically, the goal behind this podcast is we wanted to use our unique perspective as teaching pros to talk about different things as it pertains to golf, like PGA Tour news, lesson recaps, equipment, course reviews, a bunch of stuff like that. I know we had the podcast before, but talk to me about why we wanted to bring it back.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us to share our knowledge and just give the listeners some insight on day-to-day at Pure Drive. We work with so many different golfers, and we share such a unique perspective on helping people improve that it made sense with you guys just to bring the pod back, talk about how we teach every day, what type of students we work with. Maybe we'll talk about new equipment that comes in. We'll give you guys some equipment reviews, talk about courses that we play, tournaments that we're preparing for. There's so many cool topics that I think we can share on this pod. So it just made a lot of sense to bring it back.
Yeah, I think that's great. So tell me a little bit about some of the lessons that you had this week.
So lessons are going great. I mean, as you know, Brian, I teach all day, every day, same as you.
Yeah.
I mean, how many lessons do we teach in a week? I'm teaching around 30, 25 to 30. What about you?
Anywhere between 30 and 45.
30 to 45 lessons. Yeah, so people don't realize that's a lot of golfers that are coming to see you every single week. So you're going to see a variety of golfers.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even know who's walking through the door.
Totally.
Could be a beginner golfer, intermediate golfer, could be a mini tour player.
Yep.
So sometimes the lessons go really well. Sometimes you teach a student, you share something new, like maybe it's a small change in the grip, and they might just start shanking the ball. And so as a teacher, you got to know how to pivot and get them to start hitting shots a little bit better right away.
Yeah. There's something I wanted to talk about specifically. I stole this from someone, Mark Crossfield, who's another coach, but he calls those players who you make one small change and then they just start shanking everything delicate flowers.
Yeah.
Where you have to be very precise as to what you tell them. Otherwise, they might just shank it for an hour.
Yeah.
And so going off of that, I just want to ask you, what are some of your favorite sort of anti-shank drills, maybe some things that people can try if they are struggling with the shanks?
Yeah. It's also like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah. Yeah, some people get very mad.
Some well, not just mad, but like if the bull moves in a china shop just a little bit, everything comes crashing down.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's so just for you guys out there to understand, this happens all the time. And we're kind of laughing about it because it literally happens often where if somebody comes in, they're missing shots to the right. So we strengthen the grip and we know that like that's what they need to work on. But they may shank the first 3 shots and they might get really uncomfortable and they continue to shank. So to get somebody to start hitting the center of the club face, what I'll do is just put something outside the ball. And I actually did this earlier this morning in a lesson. I'll put a towel right outside the ball. So if the club is behind the ball and the sweet spot of the club is behind the ball, you want about a ½ inch outside the toe of the club to where the towel is. And what I try to coach them is just miss the towel to the inside and don't think about hitting the ball. Literally keep your mindset on missing the towel to the inside and let the golf ball get in the way of your swing. As soon as they start focusing on the ball again, they may start shanking. So just getting something outside the ball, whether it's a towel or a head cover, that's the first thing I do while I work through those swing changes.
Yeah, I feel like although there's a lot of technical reasons why someone might shank it, I find those using a player's athleticism to help them remove their shanks rather than trying to think of something technically is usually better.
Yeah.
Where like if someone, for example, is early extending and that might be why they're shanking it, although if you fix the early extension, it might help the shank, you'll still see some players where they might not be early extending anymore, but they're still shanking.
They could still shank it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. You remove probably the root cause of why they shank,
Yeah.
it's possible they still will shank. And so
Yeah.
then you're thinking, well, you're not working on the right things. Well, it's amazing what people do in the swing. You might teach them to keep their hips back, but all of a sudden
Yeah.
they start reaching for the ball because they feel like maybe they're too far back now. And then you got to coach them in some other way. But so there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times I'm telling a lot of students when it comes to contact misses, I'd rather them see a thin miss or a toe miss over a fat or shank. I mean, in my opinion, a fat or shank miss is just something you absolutely cannot play.
Yeah.
Partly because of the mental aspect, where a lot of times if people have one shank, the rest of their round is destroyed. Like they can't go play. If they shank it on the third hole, they're shooting 100.
Right.
Versus if you toe one and it ends up 20 yards short, even if you make a bogey or a double, it feels like it's something you can sort of build off of rather than the shank is just not good.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lesson last week where basically the same idea. This player was shanking it, not every time, but on their bad misses, it was a shank. And I used that same, I grabbed basically like a yoga block, similar to your towel drill, set it about a half inch from the ball and just said, can you make a couple swings for me without striking that yoga block?
Yeah.
And right away, the swing actually looks way different. He's not thinking of anything technically, but the swing gets a lot better and he stops shanking it.
That's a great one.
A lot of times
Yoga block's great, by the way, because if you do hit it,
yeah,
it's not like something loud.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which can be alarming.
Now, the tricky part with this is I feel like a lot of times when you give these drills to players, they'll kind of give you the pushback, oh, what am I supposed to do? Bring this on the golf course? Oh, do I put a towel down every time? But I think they just are struggling to understand that there's sort of a practice element involved. Like a lot of times when it's this deep-rooted contact problem, it's not going to be an immediate fix. Like they got to rewire their brain as to where that club face is.
Yeah, another great drill that I like to use is using a yoga block or something else and having them set up to that spot that's outside the ball. So think about it like this. When you are setting up to the ball, your right wrist has a little bit of bend, which is good, and your right elbow has a little bit of bend. That's good. And at impact, sometimes golfers are extending those angles.
Yeah.
So a drill, this is a little bit more technical, but sometimes I'll have them extend those angles at address. So they're sort of reaching out at address, but then trying to hit the ball with their arm, their elbow closer to their body, and then their right wrist having a little bend. So it's kind of like you start out and then you're hitting by bringing it in. And that trains the opposite movement. And the fix is always in the opposite.
Yeah.
Trying to exaggerate what the opposite feel is. That's usually how you make a change with golfers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was that guy who won the Bermuda event on Corn Ferry. And I'm sure you've seen the video, but he set literally every swing. He went bogey-free 72 holes. He was starting the club probably 3 inches outside the ball.
Yeah. And it was like moving more and more out, right?
He was basically doing that drill, but just playing a full tour event. That's just how he plays golf.
Yeah.
And so maybe at one point he had a heel contact miss, and that was the drill, and he realized he just hit it better, so he just stuck with it.
And most people would think set it on the toe as a means to fix a shank.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works, but that guy's drill of going out and out, out, it made him do the opposite thing, which actually got rid of the fault that was causing the shanks.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of times if people are shanking it, they'll stand further away, set up off the toe, things like that, which might help it in the short term, but you're not necessarily getting to the root cause of the problem.
You start moving towards the ball, extending your arm and wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you reinforce those faults that caused the shank in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I want to talk, hopefully there was no shanks in this. You had your NEPGA event last week. Hopefully no shanks.
I did not shank. I didn't think I hit one on the heel, so I was very excited about that.
That's good. Tell me how it went.
It was pretty good. I would say I hit the ball well. I felt pretty... I wasn't super confident out there, to be honest with you, because it was the first tournament of the season. So, I felt a little bit uneasy on every shot, but I stuck with my routine. I thought I hit the ball well, given not feeling super confident. My short game saved me on a lot of holes. I shot 74. I thought that was a pretty good score for the
good.
first tournament of the year with a triple on the back nine, which killed me. I was one under going into that hole. But I thought I played pretty well. My swing was okay. I hit some solid shots. There's some shots that I'm going to use. Like, I like to think back on my rounds, and I think about what are the shots that I hit that can help me build some confidence.
Yeah.
And there's some shots that I hit that are going to help me build some confidence in my swing. And there's always shots on the course that make me think about what could I have done to do better?
Yeah.
What should I have done instead? And obviously there was a few club selections that weren't the best. But overall, it was a great event. It was a great first tournament of the year. I'm happy with how I played, and I'm excited for the next event.
That's good. When you said you weren't feeling confident, what exactly was that? Like, was there a miss going on that you don't like to see, or just?
Yeah. You know what? I think it's partly because I haven't played a lot of tournament golf. And when I'm hitting shots and I haven't played a lot of golf, I don't really know where the ball's going to go, or at least I don't have confidence that it's going to come out with a perfect little draw every time.
Yeah.
And maybe this helps you guys who are listening. You're not going to feel super confident over every shot.
Yeah.
But if you work on your game, you practice at the range, you work on your routines, and you go out there and you do the best you can, you'll hit some great shots. But don't be surprised on a lot of shots. You're not going to feel like super confident over every ball.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's almost good that tournament was helpful, knowing like, all right, my swing's it's in pretty good shape, and I got good routines. I'm going to stick with them. Wasn't feeling super confident, but yet I still hit great shots, and so now I can draw a lot of positives from that.
Yeah. If you can play well while not feeling confident, I think that's a very good sign as to what is to come this season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, I mean, it's so easy if you're not feeling confident to just go shoot a million.
Right.
Yeah. Versus if you can go grind out a 74, not feeling confident over it, I think that's really good.
And I've been working on some feels to improve my path. Sometimes I get too much into out. Sometimes I get a little flippy. And those feels I had not put into play yet.
Yeah, okay.
Right? In a tournament.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going to try something new in a tournament.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done that yet. So that's part of why I wasn't feeling super confident. But I now know the things that I was focusing on did work in a tournament. So now I'm gaining some confidence after this event. I did practice a lot of short game before the tournament. I think that is something I highly recommend golfers out there to do before a competitive round of golf, because you're going to struggle with some tee shots, some approach shots, and you're going to have some challenging short game shots. But if you can improve your feel right before a tournament, you might get up and down for that par or bogey. Yep. And now you're minimizing the bogeys or the doubles, and those could be big momentum changes.
Definitely.
In the game.
Yeah. When you were working on, obviously you did the majority of your practice in here on TrackMan. How did you work on your short game with the TrackMan?
So I like to work on specific distances because it gives me a feel for certain numbers.
Yeah.
For example, I like to work on a 30-yard shot and then a 50-yard shot. And I just do that over and over and over. So I have a feel when I go to the course. I think it's really good to also work on variability, like different distances.
Yeah.
But if I really grind out a 30-yard shot feel, a 50-yard shot feel, and I'm somewhere close to those numbers, I feel more confident hitting the shot that I need to.
Yeah.
And so that really helps me. And I set that up on TrackMan.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a guy this morning, we were talking about wedge distance control. He was trying to build sort of a clock system. And so he's using, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock for like a half swing. And something that, so he was really locked in just on the length of the swing, and it was kind of producing maybe some different distances. And so something that I had him switch his focus to is more on actually the club speed he's generating you can still think of the 9 to 3, but you got to see what that club speed is. Rather than just the length of swing. Yeah, where cool. I'll see people in here, they're working on a clock system, for example, and you could bring it back to 9 o'clock, but if you swing 6-7 miles an hour faster, you're going to hit it further compared to if you keep that speed the same.
That's a really cool point.
Yeah.
I usually focus on length, and I think in lessons that's a great data point to look at.
Yeah. Basically, he has a sim at home, and I told him if he can build out in 10 mile an hour increments, a 40 mile an hour wedge, a 50 mile an hour wedge, and a 60 mile an hour wedge. He'll probably have about a 10-yard gap between those shots. And then when he gets out there, you sort of build a feel off of those speeds, but that way you can have a more reliable distance rather than just thinking 9 o'clock and hoping for the best.
Right. And most people need to learn how to control their length of the swing also. Mm-hmm. So in addition to that, if you guys can control how far back the club goes or how far back your arm goes and be pretty close to what your intention is.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to go to left arm parallel, get it close. Don't think, okay, left arm parallel, but now you're at 11 o'clock. Yeah. You need to get on video and see if you're actually getting control over your backswing length.
Yeah.
Most people struggle with that, and I give so many lessons just working on that skill alone.
Yeah.
Controlling how far your backswing goes.
Yeah, I think most people, at least from my perspective, probably take it back 18 inches further than they think.
Yeah.
Where if they're thinking, 9 o'clock, left arm parallel, they're probably getting to the shoulder or maybe even past the shoulder.
Yeah.
And they don't notice it until they see it on video. But the video is so helpful in that aspect. Even myself, my 9 o'clock feel is probably more 10 or 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. But at least if it's just maybe a little beyond it, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you can work with that.
Totally. That's why I think
to be perfect.
That's why I think the mile an hour, club speed, is so helpful with that. Because if your 9 o'clock feel is actually 10:30, but it's producing the same club speed every time, it's fine. You can go play with that.
Yeah.
But if your 9 o'clock feel gives you 10 mile an hour difference in club speed, you're never going to be able to control your wedge distance.
Yep. Really cool point.
Yeah. So I have my Massachusetts Open qualifier in 2 weeks.
There we go.
And so I've been practicing a little bit for that. I was lucky to play a lot of golf this winter, where I think I already have 25 rounds this year, which is pretty good. I played 4 this past week, which was nice. One of my favorite things to do for practice, obviously early season, I'm a member at Turner Hill in Ipswich. Our driving range is off of mats. And in the winter, when you're not playing a bunch of golf, obviously it's just getting swings in off mats, getting the TrackMan numbers is great. But just on a driving range with no numbers off of mat, feels like it doesn't really do much for me. So Turner, we actually have a fairway bunker on the driving range. And I think I'm the only person that uses it, but I love going in there and I'll hit every club in my bag. I'll hit a 3-wood out of there because basically in order for me to work on my contact off a mat's not going to do it. But if you're in a fairway bunker, you better strike that thing pure. Otherwise, you're not gonna do it. That's an
amazing idea.
Yeah. So I hit a lot of balls out of that fairway bunker. This past week, I probably hit 120 out of that bunker.
That's better than hitting from grass.
Yeah.
If you really want to improve low point control, your ability to strike your iron solid. So, yeah, that's an awesome idea. I think mats are good because you can work on your swing, you can see the ball flight. There is amazing benefits to going the range and hitting off mats. There are also downsides to hitting on mats. And for example, if you hit a little behind the ball, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so you might ingrain a bad habit that's going to normally cause a fat shot on the course.
Totally.
So getting on a fairway bunker and hitting. So what were you? You were just trying to hit solid shots from the fairway bunker, right?
Solid shots. It's on the side of the range, so there's really no good targets, honestly, because you're kind of coming in at an angle, so you can't really aim at any specific pins. But I'll go through the bag. I'll hit. I try not to hit too many wedges because I just don't want to destroy the face of them because it wears out the grooves pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I'll hit a 9-iron, and then I'll switch. I'll go hit a 7, and then I'll hit a couple 5-irons, and then sometimes, like I said, I'll hit a 3-wood out of there because if you can hit a 3-wood out of a fairway bunker, you're probably swinging it all right.
Yeah.
And so I started doing this probably about 3 years ago. It was early season. We were on mats, and I was like, look, I want to go practice somewhere. And I found the fairway bunker. And I'll do it a lot of the season, honestly. If I ever feel like my contact's getting a little iffy, I'll just go out to that bunker and just go try and hit some irons.
So if you're hitting on mats and then you go to the fairway bunker, is there something that shifts in your focus when you're in the fairway bunker in order to hit solid shots?
Yeah. I feel like my focus, it sounds kind of silly, but I feel like I'm just way more in tune of how much I'm moving my head and torso. Or I feel like off of a mat, I can get a little lazy, and like sometimes I'll get sort of this going on in the backswing, versus out of the fairway bunker, I got to be centered. Otherwise, my miss, if I'm going to miss one, is probably thin. I don't really catch many fat outside, but out of a fairway bunker, it's easy to catch it even thinner. So if I really focus on keeping steady as I take the club back, rather than this sort of like up and away.
Slower or just steadier?
Just steadier.
Just steadier.
Yeah. Where it came in from when I was doing the long drive training of like this sort of load up and back as I take the club away. And obviously I can play some pretty good golf with it, but it does give me a little bit of contact miss, more thin in toe, if anything, which, like I said, is the miss I'd rather. But, when you're trying to shoot a good score in a qualifier, you can't really have too many misses. So the fairway bunker really just like tunes me into keeping steady as I turn back.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you notice anything like heel or toe difference when you're hitting from the fairway bunker versus just hitting on mats?
I feel like I toe it less.
Toe it less.
Yeah.
So maybe you're like down a little more?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because especially, I feel like if I think back to 5 or 6 years ago, even prior to when I was doing the long drive stuff compared to now, I used to be much more down on my irons. Where I'd be hitting 7 or 8 down on a 7-iron. Now I'm, maybe 3 or 4 down, which is fine. You can play with that. But I think a lot of that came from this sort of like up motion I have. And so I bet if I were to have TrackMan out there, I bet when I'm out of the fairway bunker, it's probably back to that 7 or 8. Where off grass, there's, if I'm hitting a 6 or 7 iron, I'm probably not taking big divots like I used to. Not that I'm thinning it necessarily, but it's just not really like getting into the turf. Versus if I do the fairway bunker and then go back to grass, I'll be taking bigger divots.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think if you guys are trying to figure out, our audience are trying to figure out what can they do if they don't have a fairway bunker, I'm thinking you could just put a towel down on a mat. And when I do it during a lesson, I'll set the back edge of the ball about 3 inches in front of the edge of the towel. And it gives them a little bit of room. But since the towel's raised up slightly, the 3 inches is the right amount. You could go to like 2 inches in front of the towel, but that's even a little bit close,
getting close, right?
So 2 to 3 inches from back edge of ball to the edge of the towel, and just work on trying to hit the ball, not the towel.
Totally.
Right? That's probably the best thing golfers can do if all they have access to are mats. It's a great drill. I'll do it in lessons because if somebody needs low point control, if they're struggling hitting their irons well, they're probably not hitting ball first, and they need to do some sort of drill, and they need feedback if they're not getting ball first.
Yeah, 100%. I would say it's the amount of times where I'll have a player that is too down on their irons, like excessively negative in the attack angle. It's 1 in 100.
Yeah, about 1 in 100.
Probably.
Yep.
And if you get too far down on it and the low point gets too far ahead, you might start thinning it, for example, or just hitting it too low. But that's a whole different animal. And honestly, usually those players are much better. Where the people that have that miss are probably, close to a scratch or around that.
Yep.
Versus you get your 15 handicap in here, then most of the time we'll see their attack angles very, very close to 0 with their irons, which is just not enough. And so if you get that towel drill, and you can even do it on a TrackMan, if you hit a successful shot where you don't hit the towel and strike the ball, your attacking angle is going to be what, at least -3?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's I think a awesome drill. And how often do you see this, Brian, where guys who are more shallow with irons might be better with woods?
Yeah.
Or
All day
even the
long.
opposite, right?
Yeah. They might hit down on their woods.
They might hit down on their woods. Basically, there's a common theme that I see with my students. If they tend to come down steep, they hit their irons pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with their woods.
Yeah.
If they're shallow at the bottom, they're probably pretty good with their woods.
Yep.
Not so much with their irons. So when I help students, I and it's not always, right? There's so many different golf swings out there, but I've taught for so long that there are commonalities, and that's one of them.
Definitely.
So if you guys are struggling with your irons, you're probably not hitting down on the ball.
Yep.
Doing a towel drill at the range would be an awesome thing to do.
Yep.
Let's say you get really good at hitting down on your irons. Be careful that you're not getting too steep with your driver.
Yep.
Make sure you're getting into a good setup position and you're still shallow with driver.
Yeah, totally.
You got to regulate that attack angle. You got to be really good at regulating that attack angle when you go from irons to driver. If you're steep with everything, you're probably going to be better with your irons than you are with the woods, and then vice versa.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's basically me as an example. I would say driver is best club in my bag, and I'm probably hitting 3 to 5 degrees up on driver. I used to be down on it back when I was steeper on everything. Like I used to be 1 or 2 degrees down on driver. This is, 7 years ago. But since when I did long drive stuff, you had to hit 13, 14 degrees up on it. So I was teaching myself to hit really up on it. And then that sort of moved my attacking with the irons a little bit. And like I said, I'm still a little bit, 3 or 4 degrees down, but not as much as I used to be. And I feel like my mid-iron play isn't as sharp as it used to be with that. So
everyone knows Brian absolutely murders the ball.
Yeah.
Tell us, where's your speed at right now? What are some other metrics you look at, like ball speed, attack angle? Do you look at those metrics?
So there's a couple things. When it comes to speed specifically, I was messing around in here like a month or two ago, and I was just hitting balls, and I was curious to see what I could get up to, and I was actually still able to get up to 200 ball speed with the driver. So
what was the club speed?
I don't remember. Probably it would have to be like 136 or something, right, to get to 200 with a good contact. I don't remember, but
crazy.
And I haven't speed trained or thought about speed in years, but I've always been fairly fast with driver. Like in high school and college, I was always one of the longer players. And then when I was working here, especially when I was behind the desk and, we had some free time, I basically just got into practicing hitting my driver like as hard as I could.
Yeah.
Just to see what I could get to.
Yeah.
And then I got up, I had one that was like
140 something.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So I got into the 140s club speed, like 210 ball speed plus. So then I went down to Bobby Peterson at the One Stop Power Shop and took some long drive lessons. I thought about kind of going down that road of long drive. But as I was doing that, and this is something that I think is sort of a cautionary tale for people who are working on trying to gain club speed and only thinking about club speed, my golf game got way worse.
Yeah. Like
way worse. So I'd spent basically a whole winter just on speed. That was when I was swinging my fastest. Yep. And then I went to Pinehurst in April, and I didn't know where the ball was going.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
This is going to be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. We'll save that for
But this is such a good lesson. People want speed because it gives them more distance.
Yeah.
And it can absolutely help you improve your scores.
Definitely.
But there is a major downside. You might lose your mechanics.
Yep.
And you might lose control over the ball flight. So one quick tip I'll give people is when you speed train, you also should be hitting balls like during a speed training session. What I mean by that is, let's say you're at home, you do your speed sticks, and you go through your protocols, and that's it. You're done for the day. You don't hit a ball that day. You don't really know what you're ingraining. Or if you bring your speed sticks to the driving range, you swing 5 swings with the lightest stick, then you hit a drive. Then you do 5 swings with the lightest stick, then a drive. And you keep repeating that cycle. You're seeing the ball go, and you're sort of keeping tabs on your swing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen it so often, too, that people just lose control.
Definitely.
And it can really ruin your game.
Yeah.
But if you decide to do speed training, I would recommend working with a coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting some advice. Don't just go buy a product and do it on your own. Highly recommend finding a coach and just getting some advice, or having someone look at your swing just to make sure you're not ingraining bad habits.
Yeah, especially nowadays. There's just so many different speed training protocols or training aids or something that people can use. And although they might gain club speed out of it, a lot of them market as like, don't think about technique while you're doing this. You're only thinking about club speed. And although you might gain club speed, like if you don't know where it's going, it doesn't matter. And you might hit shorter, because
like,
if you,
I could swing faster like this. I could reverse pivot and do this. Track the arm, hinge it that much. Yeah, I could gain 5 more miles per hour extra doing that. Literally, that literally helps me get. But you think that's going to help me with my control?
No.
I'm going to miss. So I went down that rabbit hole when I was, I don't know. This was like 8-10 years ago when I was at Liberty National. I tore my ACL, and during my rehab, I thought I would never get my speed back. So I became obsessed about the mechanics, speed training, and I went all in, and I gained a ton of speed, but I also lost a ton of control. And I could not hit a fairway. And my game suffered. My score suffered. But then again, if you guys learn how to create more speed, it can absolutely help you hit shorter approach shots into greens, give yourself shorter opportunities for birdie. But just make sure you're doing it with a coach. That's all I'll say, just so you don't lose control.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Zurich, the team event, the Zurich Classic in Louisiana. Obviously, the Fitzpatricks won, Alex and Matt. So through that win, Alex Fitzpatrick gets exempt on the PGA Tour and through 2028.
Unbelievable.
Which is pretty unbelievable. Obviously, I mean, a lot of people are posing this as a charity story, but Alex Fitz is obviously very good. He won on the European Tour like 2 weeks ago.
Right. People need to understand that. He won a tour event on the European Tour.
And it was a team event. Like, he also had to win this tournament. It's not like they shoot 57. It's not like Matt Fitzpatrick shot that on himself. You know, he contributed. He contributed to it. I didn't watch a ton of the tournament. I don't know if you watched a ton of it, but obviously you saw the highlights of that bunker shot that Fitz hit on 18. Incredible. Probably a 40-yard bunker shot that stopped within a foot of where it landed. It was a pretty nasty shot.
Unbelievable. Matt's clearly playing with so much confidence. It's really cool to see that. He's not thinking about his swing.
No.
Maybe he's on the range grinding on some drills, but when he goes and plays, he's just playing golf. And he swings so freely right now with so much confidence that it's rubbing off on his brother. And heck yeah, if I'm Alex, take advantage.
Definitely.
100%. Take advantage. And Alex is a great player himself. He just won on the European Tour. He's a tour player.
I think he just needed a shot, basically. I wouldn't be surprised if he could win one of those lower tier or sort of the opposite field events that they have on tour. He's obviously good enough to win on the European Tour, so and I can't see why he's not good enough to win on the PGA Tour.
He's got great swing too.
His short game's nasty.
Really good.
Brings it back so far.
I heard a couple of shots that he hit during the tournament. short game shots.
Yeah, he does this crazy, like even a little 25-yard pitch around the green, he brings it back like far and fast, and then sort of like slows down. It's
like a big wrist set.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool move.
Interesting.
But I want to talk about that bunker shot.
Yeah.
How would you hit a very spinny greenside bunker shot?
Very spinny greenside bunker shot. I would use a 60-degree wedge.
Okay.
And I would try to minimize the amount of sand that I would take.
Yeah.
And maybe play it a little more shallow. So
Yeah, trying to like pick it a little more. Almost.
A little more picky.
Yeah.
Yep. So 60 degree, open it up a little bit, and just try to stay really shallow. So I'm going to, instead of hit 3 inches behind the ball, I'm going to aim for like 1 or 2 inches behind the ball.
Yeah.
And as long as the face stays open, that should give me a lot of good spin coming out of the bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yep.
I think the safest shot for most people is that, 2.5, 3 inches before the ball, like not quite a chunk and run, but pretty close to it, get it out of the bunker. But if you're more high skilled, you're trying to learn how to hit that spinny one, getting comfortable with opening the face, and obviously not catching it perfectly clean, but pretty close to clean. If you're trying to get some backspin on it, it's good. And you need a lot of speed through the ball on that shot.
When you saw that highlight, I forget her name, one of the announcers, she yelled, "All ball." Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you think she thought that he like sculled it?
I think
And it
because
was
she
going
was
over the
the
green?
on-course one, so she was probably somewhere around the green.
Yeah.
Heard him clip it and like catch basically ball, and thought he just sent that into the crowd.
Right. She was like, screamed, "All ball."
And then once it landed, she goes, "Oh, let's see if it spins," and then it obviously
It was
spun.
an insane shot.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't try and break this out on the golf course next time, but you go play, but maybe mess around with it. If you have a practice bunker you can, practice out of, try a couple.
Yeah.
Something that's a requirement for the shot is a good lie. Where if the ball is sitting down even a little bit, or if the sand is really soft, and you can't hit the shot. Where even Fitz in the interview after, he said he literally couldn't have gotten a better lie. Like he couldn't have teed it up better in a bunker. So if the lie was worse, he probably doesn't go for that shot. He maybe hits the chunk out, but.
And you know what? I think people need to understand, if you just hit a good bunker shot, you hit, let's say, 3 inches behind the ball, you use a 56 or a 60, face is a little bit open, you're not going too deep, it's shallow, you accelerate through the ball, it's going to create spin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get good spin out of the bunker if you hit a good shot, you follow those mechanics. You don't need to do something extra. Tour players do. And Matt probably tried to hit a little closer to the ball to give it an extra spin.
Totally.
But if you guys are trying to create spin out of the bunker on purpose, probably not the best idea.
No.
Because just a normal bunker shot is going to do the trick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need to go crazy.
No. Especially, I mean, the first goal for most people out of a bunker is just get it out of the bunker.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're trying to hit the spinny one, you might get it out, but you might hit it 70 yards.
Right. And how often in lessons are they going to ask you on just pitch shots? Like, how do I spin my pitches?
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll teach that, but I'm also more often than not saying, just hit a clean pitch shot.
Hit a clean pitch shot.
With a lofted wedge.
Yeah.
It's going to spin. It's going to check. Just with a clean shot. You don't need to do anything crazy.
Yeah, or you'll even get people wondering why they can't spin a wedge back, and they have a SM5, from 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's an old wedge.
Yeah, SM5 is a wedge
very
from
worn out grooves.
What, SM5 was probably 2013, something like that.
Yeah.
Right, and the face is worn out. The grooves aren't there anymore. You're not going to create spin.
Right.
If Matt Fitz hit that out of the bunker, it might not spin.
Right.
Like these tour guys,
that has a huge influence on spin.
A huge influence. What else we got? We got the Doral, the new Miami Cadillac Championship.
Yeah.
This week at Doral.
Should be really cool.
Yeah. So you worked at Doral.
I worked at Doral from 2009 to 2012 at the Jim McLean Golf School when he was at Doral. Mm-hmm. He's not at Doral anymore. Jim's school is at the Biltmore in Coral Gables. But while I was working there, they had the WGC event. So there was a tour event there, but it was a WGC, which is the World Golf Championships. And Doral is an amazing place. I really enjoyed my time working there. I learned so much as a teacher working under Jim McLean. And I played that golf course, the Blue Monster, many, many times. There's a lot of water, and you really need to hit good tee shots.
Yeah.
You really got to hit good tee shots. You have to be good from the bunkers. The bunkers are all over the golf course. So, and that's typical Florida course. It's shaped by water, bunkering, and it's a really challenging course. It's usually windy, and it plays long. Like some of those holes, like the 18, for example. I mean, it depends on the player, but guys are probably going to hit driver or 6-iron into that green.
Yeah, I remember 18. Back when they had the WGC event there, remember when Rory threw his 9-iron into the lake on 18?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, it should be a good event. There's a couple people missing this week. Rory's taking it off. Maybe he just hates Doral. You know.
Maybe you just explained it.
Yeah. Ludwig's not going to be there. Xander's not going to be there, and Rob McIntyre's not going to be there. So this is leaving some opportunities. Maybe Scotty gets it done.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't really had his best season. He's playing really good, but he's does he have, 1 win this year? So I think maybe this is Scotty's week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know we have some picks.
Some picks. Do you want to do them now?
Yeah, let's do them.
All right. So for this show, every week we're going to make picks for who's going to win. I'm thinking, so me and Brian, we're going to be the constants on the show. And then we're also going to have a guest. It'll be Adam a lot. It'll be some of the other Pure Drive staff. Do we want to do average finish, or do we want to do like a point system for where they place? Or like 10 points for a win, 5 for a top 5, 3 for a top 10.
I kind of like point system.
Points.
Let's do points. Yeah. And we'll do 1 point for a top 20. And we'll all pick different guys. So we
do you
don't
lose
repeat.
points if they miss a cut? Ooh. Well, there's signature events. There's not really.
Yeah, so there's no cut this week. But maybe for the future.
Okay.
We're workshopping this. So we'll do the points. Printed out about the top 40 guys in the odd sheets here. Let's try to not pick Scotty every week.
Okay.
Well, we'll lightly monitor that situation. But I'll start off. I know nothing about this course because they haven't played a tour event here in years.
What? Yeah, it was probably 2016, 2017.
Yeah, so even when they played it, think about how much further guys are hitting it now than 2016. So course is probably a bit different. Adam's saying a lot of water. Hitting good tee shots is super important. My eyes lean. You did say it's long, so Russell Henley, not a long player, but hits a ton of fairways. So that makes sense there. Let's look for. I'll go with. I should have been ready with this. Let's go. I'll take Tommy Fleetwood. Will be the first pick.
All right. Can you not pick the same person?
Yeah, let's all try to pick different people.
All right.
So I'm gonna go Tommy Fleetwood, and we'll rotate who goes first each week.
Yeah, that's fun. A couple people that I'm looking at. Well, I don't know if you saw Justin Rose. I don't think he's going to win because he just signed with McLaren Golf.
No.
Like McLaren, the car company. They built him clubs.
This has happened before.
This is bad. That looks like a bad
Hanma
idea.
2.0. So if there was a cut, I would bet him to miss it. You know what? He had a good week at the Masters. I like this guy a lot. I'm going to go for Ben Griffin. Going for some value on this one.
I like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. He started the year slow, but he's starting to.
Yeah.
He top 10.
Yeah, I saw him hitting balls at the Players a couple weeks ago, and I mean he was hitting it so good. So I think it's there.
I like that pick. I like Harris English.
I was looking at him too.
I love Harris English.
Played well at the RBC.
Yep.
Right?
Did play well at the RBC.
Great short game. Very good at positioning off the tee. You have to do that when you play RBC. Mm-hmm. You got to hit it really well off the tee.
Yeah.
So I like Harris English.
Yeah, I like that pick. He's got one of my favorite swings out there. It's such a good move.
Right.
Those tall lanky guys, their swings just always look good.
Right.
He's good at like hard courses too.
Harris?
I don't know what the scores will be at this course, but there's a lot of penalties and it's longer, which is like he's good at U.S. Opens.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that makes sense. So let's mark it down. So I got Fleetwood. Brian, you have Ben Griffin. Adam has Harris English.
Yeah, I like that. All right. The final thing I wanted to talk about is just the Chevron, the LPGA. Nelly just won. Yeah. She won by what? 5? Wire to wire. She was leading by at least 2 for every round. So, or at the finish of every round. She beat Patty Tavatanakit and Runan Yin. So both of those players have had great seasons. Did you watch much of the Chevron? I caught a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just saw some highlights. It's so impressive to see her play.
Yeah.
And she clearly plays with a lot of confidence. And she's been in that position so many times that it's like she's not even in the lead, right? She's just playing golf. It looks like she's just playing golf.
Yeah.
She doesn't look nervous. And her game is so solid. The way she swings, I mean, I don't know if you can have a better golf swing.
No, she hits it so good.
She hits it so good. She's got a great short game. She's just a really fun golfer to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She started working with, so she went to Phil Kenyon. Her putting notoriously is not great, especially like short putts. I don't know if you saw the interview after when they asked her if she had any remarks. Yeah. And she said, I just want the kids to know that you can still win majors missing short putts.
Love that quote.
So it was something around those lines. Went to Kenyon. He switched her. She was left-hand low for her entire career. He switched her to standard. And then did some work with Phil, and then went to David Angelotti, who I did some work with at Sea Island. And they were just talking about how it's just been super basics. Start line, setup, alignment. Like, it's basically it.
Yeah.
Which I feel like for a lot of people can be a beneficial thing to work on with putting. You can make it super complicated, but I feel like the simpler usually the better.
Yeah, that's such an interesting change, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried left-hand low
yourself? I've done it like in high school, back when, Spieth was crazy and everyone was doing left-hand low, but not in a long time.
Gets the shoulders level.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
Sometimes golfers, they get real tilted.
Mm-hmm.
I like left-hand low for that, but I keep it traditional.
Yeah, same.
So I think that's a good change. I mean, obviously, putting, it's so unique. You can grip it in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And we see that on tour. You could be successful putt like Akshay or Adam Scott or like, I don't know, what are some other crazy examples? Like the claw.
You can putt like Max.
You can putt like Max. I don't even know how Max putts.
Not good.
The pump fake.
Yeah, he does the pump fake.
The pump fake? Max, you doing the pump fake?
He's doing the pump fake.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another show.
We'll save that for another show.
But there's so many unique ways.
Yeah, so many
ways. So that's a good example of somebody probably who just needed a change.
Yeah, she just needed a change.
This is something Jim McLean taught me years ago, and he works with so many tour players. When he works with a tour player and they come to him and they say, Jim, I need help with this. Can you just take a look? He might suggest a change, and it's usually a good change, but he knows they just need something different.
Yep.
Because they've been doing the same thing over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably just needs someone to have her suggest a new thing. And that sort of just got her thinking differently, and then all of a sudden that sparks a whole new, performance.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what she needed.
I watched a TaylorMade video with Scotty and Fleetwood, and they were talking about using a line and a ball when putting. And Fleetwood said he just kind of varies. He's like, sometimes I'll use the line, and that feels good. Sometimes if I need a change, I'll stop using the line.
That's cool.
And sometimes with putting, especially at the highest level, like just a subtle field change, either using a line, not using a line, something like that can just help them putt better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I was curious, your thoughts. So LPGA Tour average retirement is probably around 30 years old. Nelly is 28. She has 3 majors now. I think obviously her career is amazing, but I think she's partially underperformed for how good she is. Do you think she's going to go the way of some of the kind of typical LPGA where retire early, or do you think she's going to stick out and see how many majors she can get?
She seems like she would probably stick it out for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think she wants to be.
She seems competitive.
Yeah.
And when she wants to win a tournament, she like will win by a lot. She kind of has that Tiger attitude.
Yeah.
Like, screw everyone, I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to beat you by like 8 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that tells me she's going to, she might stick around for a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Which is awesome for the LPGA Tour.
I think so. Yeah.
It's so good to have Nelly out there. I hope obviously, she can do whatever she wants to do, but it would be great to see her continue to compete.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's such a good player for people to watch. Her game is it's so consistent, and she just hits that little draw just every time. But yeah, I think she's a good draw to the game as well for the LPGA. She makes people more interested to watch the tournaments, which is great. So
yeah.
I'd love to see her continue and get as many majors as she possibly can. Because I know the LPGA Hall of Fame, I forget what the number is. I know it's way more difficult to get into the LPGA Hall of Fame than it is the PGA Tour Hall of Fame. Like, way harder.
Interesting.
I want to say the major number might be 5.
If she didn't get to that that would be terrible.
Yeah, I have to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that I know it's harder than the PGA Tour's Hall of Fame, but yeah, I hope to see she can do it.
Yeah, she would. I feel like they would change the rule just to get her in.
Just to get her in. Yeah, that's fair. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So I think anything else for it?
No, I don't think so. I think we are fired up to get this pod back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And fired up to have Brian Dunleavy on the pod.
So I'll be hosting. Brian here is going to be our producer. And then each week we'll bring in, obviously, the other instructors that we have here, Ethan, Evan, Quinn. Adam's going to be on every now and again as well.
Right.
We'll bring in Max, talk about playing some public golf around here. But yeah.
Right. So I'm excited about the pod. I really am. And we want to hear from our audience if anyone's still listening or still watching on YouTube. Drop a comment. Let us know questions that you have about your golf game. Any topics about golf. Like we want to hear from our audience. We want to have fun on the pod and get some feedback. So we're constantly, talking about the right things. So we're just really thrilled to be doing this again.